News.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to news. This is Kanpai News for the week commencing the 19th of February, 2023. I am your host, Nasuth. I am joined, as always, by Xeno and Thaylien. How are you gents doing this week?
Yeah.
Having a good week?
Absolutely dandy finalicious.
You ready for some news? You ready for some...
Yeah.
We do have some sad news in this week, but we also have some good news. So, yeah, you know, it's a mixed bag. Things how these things go. Let's go ahead and get on into it, shall we? So, the first sad story. Unfortunately, on Tuesday, Toei Company Limited announced that its president and CEO, Osamu Tezuka, had passed away at the age of 62. His funeral will be limited to close relatives with a memorial ceremony at a later date. Tezuka was born in 1960, 9 years after Toei's founding. He joined the company in 1983 and became a member of the board in 2012, and only became president and CEO in 2020. So, not very long at the top before this happened, unfortunately. Toei also, but I mean, put in his work. I mean, my goodness, he's been working there forever. Toei also announced that managing director and chairman Noriyuki Tada has taken on the role of president alongside his current roles. So, very sad news there, but, you know.
That presidential CEO position, stress is a real killer.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. Right, shall we move swiftly onward?
Absolutely, because this is a follow-up to the story of the Luffy crime ring. 4 suspects were extradited from the Philippines to Japan last week in relation to a string of robberies in at least 14 prefectures since last year, one of which resulted in a murder. The crimes were organized from the Philippines via the Telegram messaging app by someone using the name Luffy. Coincidentally, the suspects were flown back on an aircraft that had been redecorated for a one-piece collaboration last summer.
Oh my God.
Japan Airlines claims it's a total coincidence.
Total,
Not sure how much we believe
100% coincidence. Definitely nothing.
Yep.
I am 100% not reacting to this story in real time here.
Okay. Right. At long last, Uncle from Another World has an air date for its final episode. The official website confirmed it will air on March 8th, while Xeno is in Japan, with a marathon of all 13 episodes following on... Yeah, I'm not going to understand it, am I? With a marathon of all 13 episodes following on March 18th. The final volume on its Blu-ray release will also change from its original February 22nd to March 24th. I assume that's a date. But yes, the show first aired in July of last year. This show has had some serious problems. It has been such a laugh to watch. I'm glad that it is finally getting its last episode. It plays so many homages. One of my favorite things about the series is that it actually references real life events, like the whole adpocalypse on YouTube and things like that happened in 2018. It was brilliant. So
very cute, very looking forward to binging.
I'm happy for this.
It's all out.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So, Sunrise Beyond and Bandai Spirits are working on a new AMAIM Warrior to Borderline project titled Kyokko no Soki. Unfortunately, I don't know what that translates to. I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find a good Romaji to English translator.
Wasn't that the original name?
No, the original name was Kyokai Senki.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
They did not reveal the format. However, prolific mecha animator and designer Masami Obari, who has worked on projects at least as far back as Gunbuster, is planning and directing the project. So, even though the first one was kind of maybe this one will be more interesting.
I'm prepared to give it a go.
Raise it from an to a maybe.
Well, I liked a lot of the ideas in the original or the first series. It just got bogged down a little in some of the stuff, but yeah. Anyway. Anyway.
So
Onward.
next, Toei Animation and Sony have teamed up to make what they promise is a faithful recreation of the typical 1999 Otaku's room, and you can visit it in VR chat to judge for yourself. Of course, the object may be biased towards the companies, but the room is described as a small apartment filled with contemporary technology like cassette players and VCRs, as well as an era-appropriate merch like posters, figures, VHS anime and manga. They also plan to add a TV for users to come and watch anime.
Oh, wow!
Okay,
Yep.
that's interesting to me because one of the things that VR chat does get away with quite well is hosting worlds that you can watch shows on without them being directly taken from the original sites.
Shut up! I've seen the word. I've seen the trigger word for my story. We need to move on.
Oh,
we need to move on. We gotta move on. Right.
Come on.
Okay. Take a trip with me back to the first decade of the new century. Back to a time when co-authors Naoki
Urasawa and Takashi Nagasaki
were creating a reimagining of the Astro Boy universe named Pluto, which was very well received by audiences. Now fast forward back to the present, where Netflix announces that Genko, Sword Art Online, Ascendance of a Bookworm, Elfen Lied, Guyver the Byakuya, and more, is producing an official anime series for Pluto set to air later this year. Nasuth, you tricked me! Okay. You can't put Guyver in the article and not have me react! You son of a bitch! You absolute son of a bitch!
Imagine Astro Boy as a hard-boiled detective series where robots are killing people.
Yes, it's fine, right? But you've got to understand, you put Guyver in the...
I just want to make sure you realize they did both Sword Art Online and Guyver.
I don't care about what else they've done. They
can't be completely terrible if they've done Sword Art Online and Guyver.
I wasn't going to say terrible, right? My point was, I read the word, I thought this story was about the guy, and you've set me up to, failed me, Nasuth. How could, it does look awesome. This looks awesome. This looks fantastic. I'm interested.
Yep, and that's not even, but we're not even halfway through the preview. I'm very much looking...
It's on
much. No, it's not on him. It's on
me.
No,
it's just Nasuth, sorry.
So, Japan's home video sales, including DVD and Blu-ray, were down 16.1% in 2022 over the previous year, which marks the 17th year in a row that physical media sales have been on the decline since their peak in 2004. However, in that time, paid digital content revenue has been steadily increasing, and in 2019, it officially overtook home video sales. So,
I think that's like streaming platforms and everything.
Streaming platforms, YouTube, probably YouTube rentals, just anything you can, any digital media sales.
This just says to me it's time that the people that are actually looking at sales really need to take this into account at last, because they haven't been for things.
I mean, I still love the idea. I still love
be driving more.
Well,
I still love the fact that physical media is still a thing, but it's clear where the future is.
No, I hate to burst some bubbles here, but there's something really important to highlight. How Japan does physical media is so different from how the West does physical media. So, like, in the West, like, if you were to buy the Guyver, right, on Blu-ray or DVD, well, on DVD when I bought it, the first 3 volumes would have 4 episodes each, but then the subsequent 4 volumes would have, like, 3 episodes each.
Well,
right?
the battle part
So
with Uncle from Another World. The last Blu-ray disc is. I mean, there are 4 Blu-ray discs for the first season, and that's in Japan.
Right. But the first Blu-ray, right, will have the bulk of the episodes, like 7 or 8 episodes, and then the final Blu-ray discs will have 1 or 2 episodes on them. That's how. Yes. So they really hook you in with the first disc.
Right.
But this is what I got from a credible news source years ago. So that's how they do them in Japan. Like the last discs only have like 1 or 2 episodes on them each, and
so you have to buy a whole disc just to get the last bit of the show
episode. Whereas if you had a streaming service like Netflix or whatever, it works so much better. So you're paying.
Not only have you got the streaming service like that, but you've also got the actual digital sales where people will buy things over another service that actually allows you to download them as media onto your hard drive.
Right.
Those kind of services are doing gangbusters beyond Netflix and things because people are now worried that shows are going to be taken off those services the same way that games are moving towards that, where they're just saying,
"Yup.
Well, no, we're just not going to include these games on our service anymore."
Yeah.
Which
given how insane how much information you can pack onto a tiny SD card, I'm surprised those haven't been the standard for physical media for a while now.
Well, a weird thing about that is that people don't feel like they're getting any value because the thing's so small.
It's so tiny. Right? Yeah, that's true.
It's absolutely ridiculous how people see this. But I think that
did you guys see that there was a thing that somebody came up with the new version of physical media?
No.
That could be read optical. It was years ago. They came up with a version of optical media that was a little ring of glass.
Yeah.
That you use laser encoding in 3D.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Now that could store way more than any of the.
But because it's so
USB
tiny and fragile and whatever.
And it's it's a solid block, and it's actually very, very hard wearing. And of course, dust on the surface won't affect it in that.
Right.
Scratches on the surface wouldn't affect it the same way that they would a disc.
But because it's so tiny.
And the idea was they made it aesthetic as well, so that you could actually make these like storage boards and everything where you could slot them into a storage thing to display them.
No, I
thought that was going to take over, but digital has been the way because people would rather have them on the hard drive of their computer than they would on a removable drive of some kind, unless it's a removable hard drive.
I think realistically, when it comes to like these physical media, they should continue to sell them. Right, there's no question in my mind. Even if it's the case of we move to this additional format. Because there's so many shows now that just you can't see anymore. I've got friends who have Disney Plus and they can't watch Pepper Ann in the UK. It's just not available. I'm not even sure if it's available in the US. Right. Yeah. But it was one of their favorite childhood shows. So now. I think the solution here is make it cheaper.
Oh yeah,
like just lower the price.
Yeah, because you're just burning it onto a piece of plastic anyway. It's. I can buy a stack of DVDRs, Blu-ray DVDRs, for like
Blu-ray DVDRs.
Blu-ray writables.
Blu-ray writables, for an insanely low price. And just put tons of stuff on there. Why do I have to pay $1 bajillion for a branded DVD from a company?
Hell, I've got a copy of Cowboy Bebop from back in the day.
Yeah,
where it's the entire series on CD.
I know.
Not on.
Wow.
On like original,
CDs,
on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
CDR. So it's actually like old classic, and it's all in just one box. With as much data crammed onto each one as possible.
There was a way to write for a while. You could write a CD that certain DVD players could read.
Oh, so there are different.
So the DVD players would read CDs as well in that sense because it's the same data. But the difference was that these ones you could plug into a CD player and actually
just to clarify,
play the audio.
There weren't just CD-ROMs. There were CDRs,
yes, specifically
CD-RWs, CD plus Rs, CD minus Rs. There were like DVDs had just as many
of
CD
that you could
But the majority of CDs could be read by a DVD player.
Yes, I think they still can. In any case,
anyway,
I think we should move on. We've spent a bit on this one.
Yes.
It's slightly non-anime related news, but in the closest thing to anime that the gaming world does. Nintendo has unveiled its new Zelda game as a full trailer recently, and they've unveiled the price tag at long last, which is $70, which is right in line with the other new titles from Sony and Microsoft and others that are buffing that price up to $70 for all new generation consoles. But it makes people believe that this is just that new trend for games, even when the Switch certainly isn't a console that needs a $70 price tag. However, Nintendo says that they have always determined the prices for their games on a case-by-case basis, and that this is in no way indicative of a new trend, which the cynic in myself, Nasuth, and likely Xeno as well, certainly doesn't quite believe.
So they said it twice here too, right? So, commented regarding the price tag. We determine the price, the subscription retail price for any Nintendo product, case by case basis. When asked if the $70 price tag will be the Nintendo trend for Nintendo titles going forward, the company reiterated, "No, we determine the suggested retail price for any Nintendo product on a case by case basis." I don't believe them. I just don't. I mean, that may be true. That may be true in as much as like their virtual machine stuff costs like maybe $10 or whatever, or $5. But for their big title games, no, they're gonna follow suit. They're gonna join the trend.
No, because I kind of agree with them, because look at Metroid Prime Remastered. They could have easily slapped on a $50 or $60 price tag to it, but it wasn't. It was a lot less. Case in point, look at The Last of Us being released on PC at 70. Was it £70? Was it $70? No, it's like that's a game that was for the PlayStation 3, right? And they're like, but what are you doing? You're just giving it a facelift, right? Whereas Metroid Prime was a complete rewrite.
Tears of the Kingdom is a completely new game.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So when I say case by case basis, I don't think that this applies to their new games. Their old games, they might redo them or whatever. I think this is a trend that new games from Nintendo are going to have this price tag. I don't see how they. Yeah. Because it's now become.
That's exactly what I'm sort of saying. Their remakes, their re-releases, their virtual machine Nintendo Wii game or what N64 games or whatever are going to cost less, but new games totally going to be $70. Totally 100% going to be $70.
We'll see. Time will tell. I can't see where you're coming from, but time will tell.
Oh, Xeno.
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 In more reasons, well, I can't see the guy over here, so I mean, you're not sure. So, right, in more reasons not to invest in a smartphone game, the official Twitter account for Square Enix and Right Flyer Studios announced that this May they will be ending service for the Echoes of Mana game, which launched in April of 2022, meaning it will be operational for barely a year. Developers said it would be difficult to continue maintaining the app experience. Okay, that's it. They do
that's it.
at least.
It's just like what? Thank you very much for that non-specific line.
They do at least plan to refund the price of any unspent crystals. Okay, so
this is off the back of them having ended like 5 other live service mobile games recently.
Well, not only that, but also Square Enix.
At least once a month we have news of more of these games ending after barely any time up.
But,
at least
Square
Xeno
Enix,
Alice has been up for a while.
But Square Enix are really trying to double. Oh my god! Let me say my bits.
No.
Right. Square Enix are really trying to double down on this whole NFT cryptocurrency bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So how long are they going to push that codswallop before that has to get shut down? No. This is NFT bullshit, right? We got to keep it alive. Keep breathing life into it. It's NFT bullshit. Like, oh fucking hell. Yeah.
I'm so tired of hearing about these app games that are like, hey, come play this thing, and then they're like gone in a year. They've taken their money and they've run.
Never put your money into them.
Yep. Essentially, yep. Oh, speaking of never put your money into it, last week we found out that Netflix started rolling out its new password sharing policy in Chile, Costa Rica, and Peru. Now they've expanded the policy to Canada, New Zealand, Spain. I put Span here, but Spain.
It's Span.
And Portugal. In brief, the new policy requires the primary user to log in to their account from a single registered location once every 31 days and apply for a 7-day travel license when abroad, and allows them to register up to 2 extra users who reside in other locations for a price ranging between US $5 and $7 depending on their country. So,
right. I'm just gonna log in via a VPN. This is gonna become the new norm now, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having VPNs, like ExpressVPN or NordVPN, or just instead of using all these services that I'm pretty sure Netflix will block. Instead, people are going to host VPNs from their homes, right? So that, I'm in Japan. I'm just going to I'm just going to log into the VPN at my home that's in the UK, sign in on Netflix, and then all of a sudden I'm in Japan again. There you go, problem solved.
Yep.
It's just this idea that they can control more, they can separate more. So all these shows that you can't watch in other countries that are region locked, they're really going to try and crack down on those by saying, this is your address. Therefore, if you're logging in from somewhere else, you must apply for a travel thing, so that you can't watch this particular.
I think I do actually think that's what a lot of it comes down to is licensing issues from higher up the chain.
No, I find it hilarious how people shit on Twitter about they're getting rid of the what's the two-factor authentication. They're really scraping the bottom of the barrel. They're really trying to save extra money and blah blah blah. It's just come on, it's that's nothing. What Netflix is doing is just mental.
Yep. Well, I mean, I do get it to some extent. I have a friend that lives in Alaska and I'm in Arkansas. We are about as far apart as you can get in the United States, given that they are on the other side of Canada. But we grew up together. We consider each other family, and so they share their Netflix account with me. I get where Netflix is coming from. I do not live anywhere near him, but we're family, and they've in the past they've been like, yeah, you can share with your family. We don't care. We don't care. And now it's much like Google, where they started as don't be evil, and they've forgotten their way.
I think the best thing is everyone has to have their own individual Netflix account, and then you can become a member of a paying account, right? So you got the
I had a separate profile under his account, because you can have family
but then your
profiles.
your profile can't be assigned to someone else, and your profile can't be shared to someone else. This is how Amazon does it, right? I don't know why Netflix just doesn't do it that way. No, it's got to be the same.
Give you a certain amount of number. Yes, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to something sad, but also not sad.
So,
Sad
back
but
in
inspirational.
2019, the voice actor Kyosei Tsukui, who was Straight Cougar in Scryed versus in Cyber City 080808 and Bebop in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Legend of the Super Mutants movie, announced that he'd been diagnosed with ALS. For those that don't know, that's a degenerative disease that targets the nerves in your spine that control voluntary movement.
Yep. Michael J. Fox had
movement.
it. Also, it was Lou Gehrig's disease for the longest time. And yep.
So today, he's announced that the disease has progressed to the point where it's taken his voice after a tracheotomy, which is necessary due to the symptoms of the disease. He's also stated, using digital voice software, that he no longer has the use of his arms or legs, but that he sees this as a starting point and that he still wants to continue on as long as possible with the support of his fans.
I imagine he's going to get involved in like fundraising and such from here on out. And good for him, because it's so easy to lose heart in the face of this sort. Look at that smile. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
He's clearly like,
he's doing everything he can right there. And
my God,
gotta get down.
Yeah,
that's so inspirational. It's terrible, but inspirational. Yep. Right, and our final story.
So, finish up with.
Cool. For years, its glory could only be experienced in Japan. But now, after 10 years, Toonami brings us the glory of One Piece, Dragon Ball, and Toriko. And Toriko crossover that only the most hardcore of shonen fans has seen. Funimation, Crunchyroll, and Toonami all originally skipped on the episodes, which is technically a 1-hour special consisting of One Piece episode 590 and Toriko episode 99. Unfortunately, there are still no plans to air an English version of the Toriko half. Nasuth says, if you haven't seen the intro to Toriko, you're missing out.
You really are. The intro to Toriko is incredible.
Did Toriko actually get a full dub?
No, it has not.
So, I think we've mentioned in this week's Kanpai Cast that I'm the only one out of the three of us that's seen all four of the big four shonen animes, and even I have not seen this crossover at all.
Yeah.
Say about hardcore shonen fans, I am not that hardcore. I have not seen this one.
As far as I understood it, Toriko did not do well in Japan.
No, it really didn't. It really didn't, because it's essentially just Dragon Ball, but not.
Okay.
I think we also talked about it in I should have brought this up in Kanpai Cast, viewable later this week. We talked about shonen shows that ripped off other shonen shows. Toriko was 100%.
Is one of them, right?
But that will do it for the news
today.
The news. It has been a pleasure once again. Stay tuned later this week for Kanpai Cast, where we do talk about mainstream anime and our thoughts upon it. And I think everyone comes up with some pretty interesting, points on it. Yeah. So thank you everyone, and make sure you get out. Sorry, anything to wrap on?
News.
Right. News. Get out there and news. Get out there and news.
News.